Edward Moses is many things, perhaps way too many. The folks who love him the most would likely describe him as tall, slightly loud, verbose, and absurdly bald. His fans, from a rap career as AMS, the Nerd King, spanning 2 decades, might tell you, I don't know where the bottom of his lungs are. Fans of his DJ career might call him Lord Vader. You may call him next when your Mac is doing that weird thing and he somehow knows the exact error code it threw up at you. Why? He doesn't know, but he does. He just knows. The breakdance scene in the United States calls him the voice of the jam. Most folks call him Moses. Mom and Dad call him Eddie. You better not. And the folks he trounces at in the Street Fighter 6 lobbies call him nothing because he mutes them immediately. Okay, Moses, you've got 2 minutes. Did you hear that?
Before this timer starts, this was supposed to be for 2 folks in the back who will see the recording afterwards. So in advance, hi Mom, hi Dad, your weird kid made it again. The year is 1989 and I am the greatest co-pilot of all time. My dad is in the captain's chair and I his steadfast first mate. When someone dares to ask you to come along on daily errands, it is often because you add a note of distinction to the crew of the car. Some folks navigate and others are the surveyors of the aux cable. For my father, the music was already decided. Meticulously created cassettes with songs lulled and dubbed from his record collection. My role was to harmonize and hum along. And there was no shortage of discovery to be had as my young years met all of his musical tastes. Carly Simon, Simply Red, The Spinners, Earth, Wind and Fire, and my perennial favorite, Dire Straits. Money for Nothing was so ubiquitous and unique to my 5-year-old mind that my entire family had taken to calling it Eddie's song. But Dad had a question when the song was reaching its peak. Do you hear that? He'd call out an instrumental as part of the question. My young ears could not separate the strands that were wefted together to make the tapestry of the song. Rhythm guitar, percussion, bass, all of it just made my favorite song. There were no parcel pieces to evaluate, but it remained with me. Do you hear that? And now it was a goal. I wanted to hear it. Years passed and the question remained as I began to take pieces and bites of my dad's music collection to form my own. My paths of taste both reflected and refracted from his. I absorbed everything I could, still searching for that answer. Do you hear that? It took 1 moment in college to find my answer. My parents joked that they hadn't known that they were raising an artist, a musician, a weird kid. But after 5 years of playing in punk bands, pounding my ears with drum and bass and techno, finding and spotting samples to rap over, and coming to a skidding stop to learn to play bass properly, I'd sat with so many musicians who'd exclaimed with raised voices and vinegar-twisted faces, "Yo, did you hear that?" And everything slid into place. Into Halcyon, into a common sense that harkened me back to 1989, the co-pilot's chair, Mark Knopfler coaxing every note out of his guitar, and Dad asking, do you hear that, Eddie? The bassist, the percussion section, a million threads making a tapestry of music. Yeah, Dad, I hear it. And now I can't avoid splitting what I hear into all of its parcel pieces, a glorious prism of sound and a million pretty colors behind that single question. Yeah, Dad, I hear it. Thanks.